going on, guys? All three of ya. Who would I miss, Peter? I don't know. Who'd you miss? Hey, thanks for the nomination earlier. I think I sent you back, right? So we're just gonna hang out until some folks come by. Um, I just kind of wanted to do this tonight to answer any questions. I forgot who it was. Someone earlier on the Forging It Forward page said I should do a live Q and I thought, sure, why not? I'll do a live Q&A. Hello, Randy from Pennsylvania. How are you this evening? John Coffey, good to see you again. John, props, whatever you do. Got some scrap steel tomorrow to start making knives via stock removal. Awesome. Hey, have fun with it, man. That's what it's all about. So, yeah, if you have any questions about forging it forward, I guess I can answer any questions you have about anything, but I can give you my initial impressions of what we've got going on so far. Um, we should, every one of us, thank the admins that currently are here. We've got Heath, we've got Ryan, Christian, who goes by, it looks like he goes by Tian, but Tiaan. His name's Christian. James, whom you know, and who did I leave out? Heath, Ryan, Christian, James. Who am I leaving out? Who the heck am I leaving out of my admins? Because they're all Jonathan. Jeez, our treasurer. Sorry, Jonathan. Um, so all of them are going above and beyond the Call of Duty to help this group get going. It's not anything I could do myself. I was actually driving home from a thing my daughter had last night for getting into college, and we were driving home from that event, and she was asking me about how the group is going and things like that, and I said it is bigger than anything I ever thought. When I did the video, the initial tongs that I made for Billy, I mean, it was just kind of a neat concept, and but nothing new. It was just giving the generosity of the YouTube blacksmithing community just kind of a fun name. There was nothing unique about it or new about it. So um, after starting the Facebook page and doing that, it's taken off, man. We've got people. Um, an anonymous donor donated a grinder and an anvil. Atlas Forge has contacted us about donating forges. Atlas Forge, I've been reading up on um, their forges and just incredible, man. I mean, it's incredible how many people have been contacting us, wanting to help and wanting to get involved. So um, that's what's been going on. And so I've got these guys, these administrators, helping me out, and I couldn't do it alone. I mean, every day we've got a message thread that we talk to each other on, and there's a conversation going on that thread every single minute of every single day, just about. Um, guys work different schedules, and so sometimes there's only two talking, sometimes three, sometimes all six of us. Um, but there's always something going on. There's always something in discussion. Um, Someone's always working to try to facilitate this and make it work, make it something special, much bigger than I ever thought it would be. So it's really dang cool. Austin, hello from West Virginia. Chriswell, hello. I may not have a lot of tools, but elbow grease I have in abundance. Awesome. Hey, long time no see, Mark. Yep. It's morning here. I want to get started on a project, but I don't want to miss the live stream. What a conundrum. We're not going to be long. I'm just going to answer any questions you guys have. Thanks to all that came up with the idea. It really has the chance to change someone's life, and that's the whole goal. That is one of the concerns that has been brought up. It was brought up within the administrators. I brought it up originally, saying I didn't want this to be an upgrade kind of thing. I want it to be for people in need that don't have much of anything, if anything, at all. And and we've gotten a lot of concern from people saying, well, how are you, how are you choosing that kind of thing. Originally, I wanted um, a whole group wide vote, and then it just got. I was worried it was going to get too much of a sob story kind of thing, and so the admins and I discussed it, and we decided to pull the decision back into us, so that we can actually have a bigger role in seeing who has the need, because we don't want to be the upgrade. This is not a prize. This is a gift. This is a blessing that we're doing. So we've gotten a few nominations of people that um, I don't want to say don't deserve it, because they do. It's just not our vision. Our vision is to help someone from the very beginning, not someone who's gotten pretty well established and can be making their own tools and things like that. So, thanks to all came up with the ideas to change someone's life. Hi there. And I said in the other live stream, the most useful items you guys can give away every day is that knowledge. And that I love this, the way this group is growing and the attitude I'm seeing. We really haven't had to do much policing for bad attitude or anything. I mean, it really is a friendly, outgoing, helpful. Everybody's trying to do their best, um, and it hasn't. I don't think we've kicked anybody off, really, for a bad attitude. It's just it's Smiths helping Smiths, and that's what it's all about. So that part's really cool. I can't believe it started with a set of tongs. I know, John. It was just something. I just gave it a name. Like I say, if you watched James's live stream just a few minutes ago, you saw Tim from Big Dog Forge come by, and we've been trying to get him involved because Tim has had the whole concept. Tim has lived the forging it forward lifestyle, the ideal, long before there was ever a forging it forward name, and so we're always looking for people like that. Even if you don't have the skills to make the tool yet. Oh, that's another thing. We've we've started the makers group. James touched on that a little bit. It's not an elite anything. We had someone leave the Forging It Forward group and then go on to another group and say, oh, they started an elite thing and you have to be this to join it, and you don't have to be anything to join it. You can be what it doesn't matter. It's all for us to know that we are sending out a quality tool to whoever's going to receive it. So all you have to do is prove to us you know what you're doing. You could have been forging for a week. You could have been forging for a year. You could have been forging for 10 years. The time involved in forging doesn't matter. It's the quality of the product you're turning out. So if you've only been forging a week, but you know how to heat treat a punch so it doesn't shatter and get metal in someone's eye, join the makers group. Boom, you're a maker. And from the makers group, that's where we're putting the call to put together the packages. This is James. If you ever see this name, no, it's my business YouTube. Oh, okay, cool, James. Thank you, sir. Uh, J&J Services, awesome. Shamrock Forge, good to see you again. Ben, how are you? Penny, hello again. See, there you go. Peter and Penny, there are two UKers. We'd love to get a big enough contingency in the UK to do one. Hello, Penny. What's up, Jonathan? Trying to scroll through these. I'm not a maker. I think you are on it, John. I think you responded to picking up the grinder on the makers forum. Again, it's not a are you making yet? It's are you, can you make? Can or do you have the knowledge? Do you have the skills to make? Not are you currently making? Um, let's see. Hi, Derek and Heath. M&S Blades. Hey, Jason. Oh, good evening. Martin, how are you? Um, okay. So, if you have any forging it forward questions, throw them my way. What else can I comment on that's been going on? Yeah, I don't know. It's been overwhelming. It's been growing so fast. It's been overwhelming to me because I couldn't do this. I was what's that? Sorry, took my glasses out. How the video bio works. Oh, okay. Yeah, let's do that. So, if you know someone that is deserving of the tools, James touched on it in his video. If you're choosing between beer and tools and you choose the beer, this isn't the group to help you because, again, this isn't a prize. If you're choosing between feeding the kids, paying the rent, keeping the heat on, the lights on, and tools, we're here to help you out. So, um, to get nominated, we want to know the people that you think are deserving. Ask them to do a video, a bio video. Ask them to introduce themselves. Hi, my name is. This is who I am. This is what I do. This is what I do for a living. This is my history. This is where I come from. This is where I find myself now. Um, this is my situation. This is why I can't afford the tools. This is why I'm buying ramen noodles to feed the kids so I can have $5 to put in the gas tank so I can get to work to do it all over again and I can never afford a tool. Then take us out and show us your shop. Show us where you're working. Show us what you have, what you'd like to have. Um, and ideally, you might not have anything. Again, we're here to, we don't want to be an upgrade. We want to be a blessing to um, someone to help from the very beginning if we can be. But, maybe you already have something you're smacking some steel on. But, so, in some ways it might be an upgrade, but for the most part, it's we want the brand spanking new. I can't get any. Now, let me put it to, if you're in a position where you've been smithing for a while and you find yourself in a spot where you can't afford a tool, but you need it to take your smithing to the next level, come on by. Let someone know. There's so many people want to help, and there may be someone that can help you get the tool, learn how to make the tool, figure out where to source the tool so that you can afford it. We've got a huge community that has just jumped into this. Um, so yeah. So do the video, get it to the admins, and when you sponsor somebody, you get the video from them if you're sponsoring someone. As admins, we're looking for people too. It's not just we're relying on you. We're going through people that we know, that we're meeting through the Facebook, that we've met through. Most of us have YouTube, accounts, and so we're trying to find people, and we're reaching out, and some of them are working, some of them aren't, working. So we're slowly building a pool up of potential nominees, and come the end of the month, we will choose who's going to get the package, and boom, they're going to get it, and we'll start getting nominees for the next package because this is going to keep going. How much have I missed? Been getting dinner? Just yakking. Got the hammer today, Martin. I know James would love to hear how your hammer goes. James, I nominate Billy Martin. Nominate. Has he? I was gonna nominate Billy too, but got to see a video. Got to see where people are, what you need. Because again, if you've got everything you need, but you just want better, this isn't the group. Glad you're all streaming today. I'm usually working when people are streaming. I usually don't do weeknight streams. it just kind of came about. I was asked today, so I did. Great idea. Martin brother, how's that hammer? Hope it helps make beautiful things. Amen. Maker, I've only got about a year under my belt, but I got a pretty good setup going, so I think I might be able to help somebody. Ben Toombs. Ben, again, it doesn't matter. You could have been smithing for a week, but if you can turn out a quality tool, that's the other thing is when you join the makers group, you're going to be asked some questions. I know James touched on it, but you're going to be asked some questions, kind of talking about your experience a little bit. But the most important one is, are you willing to let your tool be tested? And some tools, um, I'll give you an example. The anonymous donor for the knife grinder. A knife grinder can be an exceedingly dangerous thing. It could take off appendages if it's not built right. It can send pieces of metal flying into things that metal should never be flying into if it's not put together right. It can be a fire hazard. So much could be wrong. Um, we didn't make him send in the knife grinder so that we could put it through a destructive test to find out if it works. We took build video. We took other things to make sure that this man who was a machinist and knows what the heck he's doing knew what the heck he was doing. So there's that. But a punch. Here's an example. The hammer I made. If I was going to donate this to a smith and I wasn't me, one of the admins who could do my own destructive tests, I'd send this in so that it can get used, it can get smacked around, it can be determined that this isn't going to be a bomb, that when it hits something, it's not just going to shatter and send chunks of steel flying all over the place. So that's an important one. Is, are you willing to let us test your work? It's not that we don't trust you. It's not that I'm saying don't go out and help people. It's I'm saying I don't want to get sued, and we live in a sue happy society. So you've got to be willing to let us, the Forging It Forward administrators, one of us, do a destructive test to determine if we can put our name behind it, because none of us want to lose our house. I don't want to lose my kids' college fund. I don't want to, I don't want to lose what I have. I don't have a lot, but what I do have, I don't want to lose it. Sorry, I had to step away. I saw you made changes to the rules this past weekend. Can people still submit bio videos themselves, or does it have to go through someone now? It's kind of got to go through someone, but if you need someone for it to go through, get a hold of me. Get a hold of any of the admins. I mean, we'll submit your name to the choosing committee, which is pretty much just us. But we may add people to that. I don't know. We're sort of, like I said, this is just the first one. We're feeling it out as we go. But but if you need someone to submit your name to the selection committee, get a hold of one of the admins, and we'll submit your name and get us the video, and boom, you go. You're good to go. Um, let's see. Jason, with regards to the Patreon, I'm having to move house in a couple of weeks. Am I able to change my address to receive the herb chopper? Oh yeah, absolutely, Penny. You know what? The herb choppers for the Patreon, I ran out of the drag tines that I like to make my herb choppers from, and so I haven't been able to make them. I've got a ton of them to make for you patrons. But I've got to wait for the weather to clear, the snow to melt. At the scrapyard, we got hit again, and so I've got to be able to go find what I need to make them for you guys. So when you're ready, I'm not gonna, I'll check with each and every one of you to make sure I'm sending it where you want to send it, because maybe some of you want me to send it to someone else as a gift. So I'll just get with you before I send it off. So whatever address you want it sent to at that time, we'll get you. No worries. Um, Ben, yep, I understand completely. I did some brief work for a heat treating facility, so I kind of have a pretty good idea on that. So got a little ahead of the game. And that's the most important part, Ben. I don't care. I make some butt ugly tools. Did you see those tongs I made? They're but functional. Ugly but functional is something I live by. I don't care how beautiful it is. All I care is that it works, it does its intended purpose, and it's safe. I don't want anybody getting hurt from a defective tool. I mean, if you smack yourself with a hammer, no, you screwed up. You smacked yourself with a hammer. But if the hammer head, flies apart when you miss the steel and hit the anvil, and the hardened face of the anvil hit the hammer, and bam, that thing flies apart, and bad things happen. Um, that's a problem with the tool, not the yeah, you know what I'm saying. Yep, just missed the live stream again. James's, yeah, that was cool, James. That was awesome to see you do the punch there. You have to do the bio still, though someone can sponsor you. Absolutely, yeah. We need the bio. That is the most important part. That is how we are determining. We've got to be able to look in your eyes, at least through the video, um, to be able to get to know you. Um, Jason, did anybody reach out to you through me? Not yet, Martin, but it's still early. I mean, businesses work at the speed of businesses, and donating stuff and being charitable is usually down the list of the last things a business is doing. When they're ready, they'll reach out. They may not, but I'll tell you what, this started out as a grassroots thing, and we've already had businesses just reach out to us. Atlas Forge, there's a real good example. So, I mean, it's happening, and for who you were talking to try and get us some safety gear and things, that would be fantastic if they do reach out to us and can do that. So, but if not, hey, we'll go to Plan B, which is we'll figure out how to buy it ourselves. Not a problem. I'll be forging a simple rose to sell off and donate the profits to forging it forward to go towards postage. That struck me as a more productive way to support this than posting items from Australia. Oh, awesome! See, there's a great way to help. Eventually, I would love to have enough Australian smiths that we could have, an Australian nominee every quarter. That would be awesome if we could have one for every single country. Um, maybe some of the South American countries, all those little tiny countries, maybe we can get a group of Central American countries instead of every individual little country there. I don't know how it'll work, but I I believe there is a way to work. I believe the I was talking about this on my radio show this morning, that the generosity I'm seeing in this has given me hope again. I'm kind of a cynic in real life. I always joke around, the end of the world's coming, the black vans are out there. I'm not a conspiracy thing. I love a good conspiracy theory, don't get me wrong, but it's just I haven't had much hope. But now I've got a 17-year-old, almost 18-year-old daughter who's going off to the University of Michigan, who got early enrollment, got a scholarship. The thing we were at last night, like 60,000 people applied to go to the University of Michigan, and they're taking 600. So, think about the math there. That is incredible. And my daughter, or not 600, but yeah, it was just a tiny amount. The math was incredible that my daughter got chosen and accepted this early and got a full scholarship. And that gives me hope that the next generation has smart people. I know who my daughter is. She's going to be a world changer. So that gives me hope. We had an event go on this weekend. Is my mustache shagging? We had an event go on this weekend where a young girl who has only been able to walk. I gotta think she's 2 or 3. She's had to learn how to walk using a walker, but there's an operation she could get in a local donut shop. Harvey's Donuts, my favorite place in the world. Did a fundraiser. By 10 o'clock Saturday morning, they had sold out of donuts, which I guess has never happened before, because 50% of the proceeds were going to Maya. It was Donuts for Maya is what it was called. That gave me hope. And then I look at this Forging It Forward, and I see worldwide this group of people that have just kind of come out of the YouTube blacksmithing world with a spirit of generosity and fellowship and brotherhood / sisterhood of let's get together and help who we can help. And it has renewed my faith that there's something better for the future of this planet. And so I've got to thank you guys, because you've taken me out of my normal cynicism and brought me to a level of hope. I mean, I just see it, and maybe it's silly. Oh, a bunch of blacksmiths, that gives you hope. Well, I don't know. It does. Let's see. Store my life. Ugly but functional, Ben. Yeah, that's it. I'm testing the belt grinder tomorrow. Jason, don't say that stuff. Don't say what stuff, John? Yeah, John not only picked up the belt grinder, went over and above to go get the belt grinder, replace the cord on the belt grinder. Now he's testing the belt grinder. Are we going to be able to get it away from you, John? I'm kidding. I know we will. What about when my cheap anvil flies apart? Depends on what your cheap. I don't know what you're talking about there. Cheapo. No. HOJ Science and Champ, that's pretty funny. A Jeep guy, a Rover guy, and a Bronco guy walk into a bar. And the bartender says, that's not a duck, that's my wife. It was nice seeing a live stream video about a question I asked on the Facebook page earlier. That was something that I wondered why the hammerhead got turned so often. I take it James answered your questions. James is the hammerman. It's kind of funny. I did the video on that thing. I posted it on my channel, and I said right at the end of the video, I'm not ready to sell these. This is untested. I forged a couple things with it, but I've got to test it. I want to make some more so that I can get my level of craftsmanship up where I want it, and I got to send those off to other people who will be testing them. And so right at the end of the video, I said that, and I still got a response today. So can I buy a hammer? Sure, it's going to be a wait, but show us your shop and tools you may have as well. Also mention something about yourself. That's the video, the bio video we're looking for. I want to know why you're passionate about smithing. If you're not smithing yet, why you think you're going to be passionate about smithing. As you're introducing yourself, get as deep into you and the smithing and everything. That's how we're going to determine who's going to get the stuff, right? When I forged a hammer I punched utilizing a brick hammer repurposed. I love repurposing stuff. Billy Martin, just seen this was on, never got a notification that you was on. Well, I don't know. Did you hit the little bell? I don't know how any of that works. It's technology, Billy. I am the last person you want to ask technological questions to. But if you haven't yet, go check out Billy's video. Billy posted his first video about making his first knife. First video, first knife. Awesome. Looked like the tongs were working pretty well. You resized them for the stock you were using, so spot on, Billy. And hopefully they did you good. It looked like you had a pretty solid grip on the steel as you were working it. So, okay, that's that. A Wolverine, not a Spartan. A Wolverine, not a Spartan. We are. Well, my wife sort of plays devil's advocate and roots for Sparty, but no, I grew up a Wolverine and will always be a Wolverine, and my daughter is now a Wolverine, so that's pretty damn cool. That's cool. Do you have Shriners in the area? That's an awesome child's hospital. I went there when I was 6 weeks old. Are you asking me, Ben? We don't have Shriners here. We have Ronald McDonald House down in Grand Rapids, but thanks, James, for the sweet ass hammer. Yeah, man. That did you check that out on James's video? The diagonal peen? That thing. That came out great, man. Regrettably, you can have it back. Only need a couple parts to start building my own. Oh, the grinder. I know that grinder. There was within the admins, there's 6 of us, and I don't know. I don't think any of the admins have bought a grinder. Some are I don't even know if they have grinders yet. But there's a lot of, you've seen, if you watch my videos, you've seen me use my grinder. I've slowly been redesigning it and getting it better. But I look at this thing and it's a work of art. Yeah, dude. Is it wrong to say I'm jealous of it? Whoever gets it is going to be a very lucky person. luck, I'm sure, maybe. Um, I, I, I think it's more deserving. I mean, seriously, we've got 6 people within the administrators, and we're all doing everything we can to find the the most deserving. I guess is a word. I don't know if deserving is right. Deserving slash, I don't know. Put your videos together. We'll know the right person when we have the right person. Um, let's see. I ordered a single burner forge last night. All burners are available that I want to build my own. Yeah, I've got to build a bigger forge. I just got some news today. Some of you know what I'm talking about, but I gotta get going on that. I'm almost out of time. So yeah, go check out Billy's video. I see great things to come from you, Billy. Just gotta say, go Bucks, as in Buckeyes, as in Ohio, as in get off my channel. Dung Beetle walks into a barn and says, the stool taken. Not bad, not bad. I was told some people want me to make one for y'all to see about me. I will in a few days. Thanks, y'all. You don't have a ton of time, Billy. Don't wait too long. I mean, you've got till the end of the month, but don't wait till the last minute if you can, sooner rather than later. I was researching San Maya and I came across a conundrum. Is a hot dog a sandwich? A hot dog is a San Mai sausage. They worked awesome. Just got to learn how to use them. Talking about the tongs, awesome. I've got a 4x36 from my dad and a 1x40 from an auction I haven't used yet. 4x36, not the most amazing grinder for knife making, but a lot of people have them, and a lot of people turn out some pretty dang quality knives. When it comes to the grinders, again, much like anvils, I'm not an anvil shamer. I'm not a grinder shamer. My first grinder was either going to be a 4x36 or the 1x30, 1x30, whatever it is from Harbor Freight, that little 1 inch thing. It was going to be one of those. And then I just decided to bite the bullet and made one. And if you know anything about how I make anything, there's never any plans. I was out there. It was February of 2 or 3 years ago, whatever it was, and it was below zero. I was working in my garage. It was 20 below. Had the kerosene heater going, and it wasn't making a bit of difference. And I hated every single minute of it, and it took me about 2.5 weeks. And at the end of it all, I had something that resembled a grinder, and it has worked from then until now. And I redesigned it just recently and got it working so much better. Because I know a little bit more now. I know what I wanted it to do and what it wasn't doing, and yeah. Anyways, hot dog. If sandwich, the harder steel doesn't cover spine. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Yeah. No. Hot dog would be more along the lines of how the katanas were built, right? With the bun being the hard steel. Maybe. I don't know. Lucky as in life changing. Yeah. All right. You got that. That's right. Saints, I think I was waiting for the punchline. Have Shriners Hospital in Montreal. Actually, I have family members working there. Anything to help with the kids, man. I'll give to Ronald McDonald House. We've got DeVos Children's Hospital, a couple hours south of us. Great hospital. My oldest son, who's 25 and off on his own now, lives down in Florida, um, and is a chef down there. He was in DeVos with a staph infection one time, and I mean the people there, because of folks like Ronald McDonald House and the Shriners. I mean, they made our lives so easy so we could take care of him and be there to support him. It's great. Let's see. Go Bucks for the John Coffee. Yeah, all right. I'll let you get away with it because you've been so helpful, but nobody else. Let's see. Made my first conversion hammer today. Converted a 24-ounce ball peen to a 3/8 fuller. Awesome. Yeah, I talking to James about taking a ball peen and turning it into a hammer eye punch, a handled one, because the one I have now is just a big long thing. Penny, isn't it like 2 a.m. where you are over there? It's like what, 8 hours difference? 5 hours difference. So you're 5 hours later, so it wouldn't be. It'd be late. A good sanmai literally in Japanese means 3 layers. I don't think it has to be medium carbon, high carbon, low carbon. Um, so you want the cutting edge to be high carbon, but whatever goes around the outside. I've done sanmai with chainsaw. Um, a chain into a billet, wrap it around high carbon steel. That's technically a sanmai blade. Whether the chainsaw chain was high, medium, or low carbon doesn't matter. Heath here signing, brother. Hello, Heath at Shepherd's Forge. What's up? Just for a chuckle, Jason. It's Brian, by the way. Hello, Brian. I know lots of Brians. I don't know which Brian, but hello. I have a 6 ounce. That would make that, I think. Oh, the hammer eye punch. I've got the problem is I've got three ball peen hammers in three different sizes, and I use and love each and every one of them. One of them was my grandfather's, so I can't do anything to that. But a couple of them were garage sale finds. But I find the hammerheads all the time at the scrapyard, so I'm just going to find one and do 1 a.m. in the UK. Well, thank you for staying up late with us, Penny. Um, Anyone else getting significant lag from the stream? Are you? If you are, I'm sorry. I don't know. My internet's been kind of goofy tonight. Might be me. No lag here. Okay, good. Little lag. Go to Heath's channel. Yeah, check out Heath's channel. Shepherd's Forge. There's so many. I think all of the admins, for the most part, have a channel. Some of them aren't doing videos right now, but yeah. I mean, I think there's a thread started in the Forging It Forward that was asking about channels and whatnot, and I say go share. If you know a blacksmith, go share. Um, we we were just having that discussion within the admins earlier about blacksmithing channels and things like that, and who's willing to share and promote. And if there was a limited number of channels that you could subscribe to, um, I might be a little more jealous. I might be a little more hoarding of, oh, no, you've got to stay with me. But you can go subscribe to as many channels as you want. So go subscribe to everybody. Go support James and Heath and everybody. Go support Billy and watch him grow. He just put up his first video. Where is he going to be 5 years from now? Never know. All right, so any more questions about Forging It Forward? Night all 4 a.m. comes too quick, Tom. Yeah, I know. I'm up there with you. But let's see. Shepherd's Forge, loved your video where you were talking about the swearing. That was a very big part. Yeah, no, Heath stepping up to the plate and doing that. I'm not a big swearing kind of guy in general. Sentence enhancers. I work in radio, so I tend not to swear. I also have small children, so I tend not to swear. Um, so it's never been an issue for me, but it doesn't bother me. I mean, I'll watch anybody's channel. It's just I'm a little leery of having my kids walk into the room if I'm watching someone and they're dropping F-bombs all over the place and whatnot. So it's cool when I don't have to worry about that. John Coffey, what station at Jason? WKLT? Is that? It looks backwards. Is it backwards? Should be KLT. It looks like TLK. Yeah, WKLT in Traverse City. You can stream online if you want. There every morning. Show starts at 6 a.m., 6 to 10. If you test a small wheel, make sure you spin it by hand and adjust tracking before turning on the motor. Give that contact wheel a good test with a worn out 120 that was on it. for anyone with a YouTube channel to post their channel name in the thread I started on the Forging It Forward Facebook page. Yeah, absolutely. If you've got a 97.5, 98.9 are the frequencies. If you've got a YouTube channel where you're doing smithing videos, come and share it in the Forging It Forward. If you're doing other videos, um, I don't know if that's really forging related, but I don't care. But some people might have an issue with it. His YouTube alias. If you're the donor, you are a great person. Um, if he is the donor, I can't remember what his YouTube name was when he contacted me, but he is a great person. Um, and his real name did slip out once. His first name, and that's all you're getting. He asked to remain like super cool. How many people want to remain anonymous anymore when they're doing stuff like that? Usually they're look what I'm giving away. This is me. So um, I think it's fantastic that he wanted to remain anonymous. Cleaning up, everyone can watch, not just follow. Yep. If you have a channel and are a smith, join the YouTube Blacksmith Community Group. Yeah, absolutely. That's a group. One of our admins, Ryan, started the YouTube Blacksmith Community Group, and your YouTube channel, doesn't have to be a blacksmith channel, but you just have to be interested in blacksmithing. But I think most everybody that has joined is a blacksmith. I think. I don't know, but there's some interesting questions and topics that come up there. Um, so yeah, I mean, go join it, go see it. Uh, he outed himself, didn't he? Oh, our anonymous donor? Not necessarily. There's a lot of anonymity within YouTube. Um, if I didn't want you finding me, if I didn't want you knowing who I was on YouTube, you wouldn't. You wouldn't. I mean, I don't have to put my email and my Facebooks and my web pages and phone numbers and contact all that. I mean, I could have kept that hidden real easily. So YouTube can offer a lot of anonymity if you want it to. Um, let's see. True charity is always anonymous. Sure. Semantics. I mean, I don't mind giving people credit. If he wanted me to give his name and shout it from the rooftops about his generosity, I would. I don't think it has to be anonymous. He asked it to be, and I respect that. It takes it up a notch. You know, I respect him even more because he said that and doesn't want me to shout it from the rooftops. But I would. I work in radio. I make my living by people giving me money for me to say this is the best stuff in the world. Anheuser-Busch wants to give me money to say Select 55 is the best Fat Man beer in the world. And if they did, I would. That's not, but hey, I'm losing a lot of weight, so I guess it works. You are the donor and humbled by your appreciation. All right, anonymous donor. I'm not going to give your name. If you want your name known, you can put it out there. But we are humbled by your generosity, my friend, and whoever gets it, the deserving person who gets it is going to be humbled. I mean that is a lifetime tool. That is going to be a tool they're going to be handed down to their kids. I mean that's how sturdy and quality that's built. Um, so it's incredible, truly is, and we can't say thank you enough. It's not easy. I served in the military when I was. It takes years for your vocabulary to recover. And anonymous donor, J&J Services. That's James, one of our administrators, who says he is humbled by your gracious heart, as we all are. AVE doesn't even like his face shown. He blocks our reflections. It's funny. Okay, I don't know who that is. I sometimes put AVE videos on in the background when I'm playing games on the PC. I just get a kick out of him. I don't know who that is. Is that someone I should check out? I don't know anyone else, but I can barely hear you. All right, I'm sorry. I'll try to speak up a little louder. Everyone's asleep. The kids are asleep. And we get up early in this house. You need to make grinders again, says John Coffey to anonymous donor. What? I'm going to try and get another built for next quarter too. Oh my gosh, man! Wow. Um, I don't know what to say. Whether you get it done or not, just the fact that you want to. Um, yeah. No, it's not, Jason. It is water. It is water, but it's only got 55 calories and 1.9 carbs. I do the low carb thing. I don't care about calories, but it's carbs. Whereas a normal beer has, oh God, I can't even drink one. If I drink one, I'm over for the day. Uh, there's no alcohol in these for the most part, though. I will tell you that. It's hard to get a buzz when you're drinking flavored water. Um, let's see. I'm lagging on questions. I know James, right? Yeah, don't talk him out of it though. Look him up if you don't know AVE. He's hilarious. Okay, I'll try to remember to check him out. Rips apart tools and other things and gives reviews on them. He actually seems quite smart when all is said and done and gives very thorough reviews. Oh, okay, cool. Um, always curious. I can't afford new tools, but it's always fun to watch things. He was my first Patreon. Normal beer also has alcohol. Well, I know it does. On cheat days, I go back to my real beer. When did you start blacksmithing? What did you start with? I started blacksmithing. I'm going into what? It'll be year 4 this summer. Is that right? Yeah. I started. So say I started just well, 3.5 years ago. I was in my driveway. I had a hunk of railroad track. Heath at Shepherd's Fortune and I were just talking about that because he's trying to get a railroad track anvil built for somebody. Excuse me. And he's doing the shaping. He's putting a horn in and a hardy hole and all this stuff. Um, and he asked me my opinion because he says, "I know you started out with a railroad track anvil. My railroad track anvil was a hunk of railroad track. It wasn't it was a hunk. It was square. I didn't do anything with it, um, except I put it in my driveway, and I didn't even have it on a stand. I had it on the gravel in the driveway, and I had the forge. It was a brake drum forge. Um, I bought the 2-inch pipe to do the plumbing for it for the airflow, and that the forge, the brake drum was sitting on 2 upright cinder blocks, and so the forge was down there, and I was down there on my knees, and the anvil was right there, and so I was smithing on my knees, and I was that way for probably the first 3 months before I realized I'm allowed to raise these things up so I can stand. Um, I built a small stand for the railroad track um, out of some 2x4s, and that was what I used for the first, I want to say 6 months that I was smithing, and then I found a little tiny Vulcan, a 70-pound Vulcan, that I used for, I mean, all my early smithing videos are on that Vulcan. Um, so I moved to that. My first hammer was I think it was a 3 pound or 4 pound um, mini sledge that I ground the faces. I ground one round and one flat to have my version of a rounding hammer. Um, although my first hammer was one of the ball peen hammers that I had. In fact, it may have been my grandfather's ball peen hammer that I used. I don't remember. But that was it. That was me in the driveway on my knees, trying to learn how to. I it's back on the shelf. I found my first leaf or my first attempt at a leaf. That about the most leaf-like thing about it is it sort of resembles a leaf shape, but there's it's burned to hell, and it's not good. Smith commercials used to crack me. What are your dreams for forging it forward? Do you ever see it becoming a real worldwide nonprofit organization? James, I don't know, man. I see it going worldwide. Um, a bona fide 501c3 charity organization, you donate to us and you get a tax write off kind of thing. That's going to be handled by someone wiser than me. I will do my best to always be a part of it and always try to be inspirational in my motivational whatever I can do. But as far as when it gets that big, I think it's got to be someone else, maybe someone like you, James, that has a brain for that, has a business type brain, because a nonprofit charity is a business, even though you're not pulling profit out of it. But it still has to balance at the end. You still need to cover the costs of what you're doing. And my brain, it's hard enough for me to make my smithing pay for itself. This year I ended up having to pay a little bit in taxes because I did make a small profit. But what could it be if I had the business mindset? Um, and so, do I see it ever getting there? Absolutely. But it's going to be for the next whoever takes it over. I mean, I see that's just it. I don't consider myself the leader of this thing. I know everybody keeps saying, "SG, you're the one. It's your group," and blah blah blah. Yeah, I started it, but um, this is bigger than me. That's why I had a couple of the everybody that's an administrator right now. I had a couple of admins and a couple of moderators, and I guess the moderators have less power within the group or something. I don't know how it all works. But when I found that out, I didn't like it. And so I made everybody an administrator because I wanted everybody on equal footing. I don't want to be the decision maker because I don't trust myself to make the wisest and the best decisions for what this thing could become. When it was just kind of fun and goofing around and hey, let's see what we can put together and maybe give someone a few pair of tongs and a hammer and a chisel or two and get them going. I mean, now we're talking about real donations, real people. People are donating money. I forgot to mention we've got that PayPal set up. Or I was thinking today, we really should get a GoFundMe. And I'm trying to see. It's the business side of things. I don't know how that works. How you get a bank account that, um, if if I am the leader, I mean, my name should be on it, right? But then Jonathan's our treasurer; his name's got to be on it, and then we need accountability with it. So everybody, or a few people have to have it. Because what if I drop dead? What if Jonathan says, "Enough, I'm done, I'm out of here"? There has to be enough people on it so that we can still have access to it and recover it and get the money for it and all that fun stuff. And I mean, someone with that business smart has to facilitate that. And so to get the GoFundMe, you have to have the bank account. But to get the bank account, I've got to figure out how to make that work. How do all of us, whether it's all six of us, whether it's four of us, however many it is, how do we get on a bank account when I live in northern Michigan, two of you live in North Carolina, one of you lives in Canada. Um, I don't know where Heath lives, but I mean, we're all spread out across two countries. So there's a way to do it, I'm sure, but I don't know what it is. So I do see it growing. Just, I'm not, if you, I'm their leader. Which way did they go? That's the kind of leader I would be. I'm here because it makes me feel good. I have fun. I'm having fun. We sure we're working. The administrators are working every day and we're chatting, but we have a lot of fun chatting and getting to know each other and doing all this. It's fun at the same time as work, and that's why it's not work. That's why I love my job in radio. That's why I love blacksmithing. None of it ever feels like work, and this doesn't feel like work. And as long as it doesn't feel like work, I'm going to keep loving it. The minute it feels like work, I'm not going to be loving it so much. Doesn't mean I won't do it, but um, we've got to find the people that are always going to love it, that have the brains to to make it bigger and better, and who knows, the sky's the limit. So that's my vision, James. So I don't know. I'll ask you, what was the best thing you ever learned about blacksmithing, like a tip or trick or whatever that really changed the game for you? Man, Ryan, there's been so many little things. Um, I know James said hammer technique. That was a big one for me. That was one of the big ones. Learning learning how to accept the fact that I could succeed. Does that sound weird? Here, let me pull the hammer out again. Here's another example. For 2 years, I've avoided trying to make a hammer because of that ugly POS that I had built. Even though my skills in the last 2 years have expanded and increased, and I probably could have made something similar to this the day after I made that other one because I learned so much trying to make it without having the knowledge to make it. Um, and it seems that was a problem with the knives. I'm a knife maker in my head. That's what I see myself doing. So um, when I learned that it's okay to give yourself permission to succeed, um, I think that was a biggie because I kept holding myself back. I kept telling myself, "You can't do that. You can't. There is no way you can make a hammer like that. You can't make a knife like that. Feather pattern Damascus by hand. You can't do that." Um, so yeah. I think that's one of the biggest things I learned was, yeah, you can do it, and I give myself permission to do it. Cut my railroad track anvil with the neighbor's cutting torch and spent a week grinding the horn and feet smooth. That's why I never did it, John. I could not. I mean, I started to try and grind the top flat, and my grinder was just like, no, no, you don't want to do that. Those things are tough, and I just kind of Through the forums and information came from Anvils in America, which is a book which I just purchased and received last week. So if you need any information, let me know. Oh, awesome! We get questions all the time about where anvils came from. Um, and it was someone with that book, I believe, that told me about my Trenton, 1901, I think. Um, Coping some outfits to subscribe to. Jay Sanders, hoping no one minds, but I am coping some outfits to subscribe to. Go subscribe to everyone, Jay. Support the YouTube blacksmithing community. Got a really beautiful Trenton at Quad State last year. That's awesome. I wish my Trenton was beautiful. Part of me keeps thinking I'm going to upgrade someday, but part of me loves this anvil so much that, I'll keep it for a while. If you give me the serial number, I can tell you what year it was built. I know mine, but maybe you're talking to somebody else. Did you guys consider doing forging it forward on a forum type format for the people that don't Facebook? Nope, it's never been brought up, Martin, but maybe we can discuss that at some point. Um, I remember now, but it's too far away. I can't get there. Oh, Quad State. An Imperial leader is the best. You get a gavel yet? No, I am gavelless. I could use my beer can, but I don't want to shake up the beer. Motion carried. Jason, have you ever messed around with a Land Cruiser? We had one, and it's blown the head gasket twice in 5,000 miles. I have not messed around with a Land Cruiser. I don't even know what engine would be in a Land Cruiser, but blown head gaskets twice in 5,000 miles, I would guess that either your head is not true or your engine block is not true. When you replaced the head gasket, did you um, true up the heads and the engine, the block? That would be my guess as to why it blew so quick the second time. But I'm a YouTube learned mechanic. I don't know anything more than I know for blacksmithing, except that I turn wrenches on Jeeps and I love it. My cousin set up a GoFundMe when I had my liver transplant. It is easy to set up. She said GoFundMe takes a percentage. The rest went into my bank account. Yeah, no, GoFundMe is easy. I've had a GoFundMe before. I probably still do. I don't think they ever close them down. But it's linking it to a bank account. I don't want it. I don't want the GoFundMe just linked to one bank account that I open, that I'm the only one with it, or that our treasurer Jonathan opens and he's the only one that has access to it. Because what happens if I say I'm fed up with this, I'm done, and I leave? I could take all that money with me. What if I die, and then no one knows that money exists? My wife isn't going to have access to it. So there's got to be a way to get more people within the, I guess we'll call it the leadership of the Forging It Forward, the leadership that's there now, um, to have access to that bank account. So we've got to be able to set up that bank account across multiple states and or countries. Whether that's a big national chain that's going to have branches and we can all go into an individual chain and sign up, whether there's some way to do it online, I don't know what the answer is. So uh, once I figure that out, I think we can do it and we can set up the GoFundMe, because the GoFundMe is easy. It takes literally 5 minutes. Um, but it's the bank account, because you cannot tie it. Jonathan started the PayPal account, and I thought, what if, can we just tie the GoFundMe to the PayPal? And unless you are you can, in like really limited circumstances. I mean, you'd have to be the Muscular Dystrophy Association of America um, to be able to do that. They won't give you permission otherwise. So a little online Facebook Forging It Forward group, they won't let us. It's within their bylaws. So, if someone sent me a nice hunk of Damascus, I could make Jason a Damascus gavel. I don't need a Damascus gavel. Uh, Make a knife out of it. Northern Wisconsin, Jason. Oh, Heath, I didn't know you. What, up by Green Bay or something, or even north of that? I didn't know you were up there. I was picturing you down by Chicago for some reason. That sucks, James. Unfortunately, I don't like Facebook. I don't necessarily like Facebook either, Martin. But I'll tell you what. In that email I sent you, I was telling you about marketing. Marketing your knives in order to sell your knives. Facebook is one of the best places you can market your knives. They don't let you sell them anymore. They've cracked down on the weapons. So even if it's a kitchen knife, you really can't sell it on Facebook anymore. But I can market it, and I've got links to my webpage, Way of Knife, where I sell them here in Traverse City. Um, I've got all that. So I mean, it's a marketing tool. Um, so I told you I'd give you some advice on marketing. That's advice number one: is get over whatever you hate about Facebook. You don't have to put your life on it. You don't have to. You share what you want to share, and keep secret what you want to keep secret. But that's marketing 101, is tell everybody everything all the time. ABC, always be closing if you want the knife set. Phone just crapped out on the laptop now. Sorry about that. Oh, your battery was dying during James's, and you got an hour into this one. That's not bad. Let's see. J&J, do you have a channel as well? J&J is County Line Forge. And I would suggest you go find him. Best idea, I think, would be is to have your treasurer set up the bank account, try and have more than one name on the account for accountability, and everyone can see what donors are sent to. I think that would be the best too, but for me to be comfortable with that, we need more than one person on the bank account. So if Jonathan set up the bank account, it doesn't have to be my name. I don't care if it's me, but say it's James and Heath and Ryan. We've got to get all of them on the bank account. How are we going to do that when everybody's in different places? So if there's a banker that knows the answer to that, let me know. and we'll get it taken care of. Until then, we've got the PayPal, and you can donate. We've been getting donations. I hope I was the first. As soon as Jonathan did it, I went and threw $20 in there because I believe in this. So I mean, it's there, and I'm willing to throw my money behind it too. So I did because I trust Jonathan, and it, you know, it's an accountability thing, but it's also a logistics thing. I think in a while you guys are going to have to organize some kind of event to get all of the Forging It Forward people together. It could be an annual thing. Um, it would be a fun thing, but again, we are spread out all over. Christian is up in Canada. Oh, unless you mean group members, like a hammer in or something. We could just find a central location. That might be kind of fun. Bank accounts get tricky though. Need to establish an EIN, which requires a true nonprofit designation. It does get tricky. I don't know that we would have to establish a true. I mean, the 501c3 is a long process. Well, we might have to incorporate, file an LLC or something like that. That's a lot easier than getting a 501c3. But I'm not even sure if we'd have to do that. I think you can as a sole proprietor. Well, I know you can. I've opened a bank account as a sole proprietor. But to get more people on it, I don't know how that works because when I've opened it up and I wanted my wife on it, well, even if she wasn't there, I had to take her into the bank or she had to stop into the bank at some point and sign the stuff and do all that. So again, I don't know the logistics behind it, but well, we'll figure it out. And there's got to be a way to do it, right? You guys have a GoFundMe page? That's what I've been talking about. No, we don't, not yet. We will though at some point. We talked after limited driving. Oh, talking about the Land Cruiser. Okay, sounds like you're getting help with that. We were thinking sofa this September. That would be cool. Never been there, but that'd be fun. Imagine all the people who receive tools meeting the people who made them. That could be fun. It could also be awkward. A lot of people, like our grinder donor, wanted to remain anonymous. So, I don't know. Something to think about. It'd be cool to move away from a dependence on Facebook, but the way that Keith Fenner runs this giveaway, which was the inspiration back, it just wouldn't be practical for us. Oh, okay. Um, to Martin, to answer your question, to start a forum, um, I've seen a lot of people start forums. A lot of people with good intentions, not necessarily in the blacksmithing community. It's more in the Jeep community, um, and the forums have failed miserably. Not because they were not good people, not because they were not sharing wise information. It's just because um, people weren't going there. People are already on Facebook, so when I say go to Facebook, um, I mean I know you don't like to Facebook, but as you can tell from the way this thing is growing, you're in the minority of the people involved in this. So we have to go where the majority of the people are. The majority of the people are already on Facebook, and it would take another step to say, come and join this forum as well, or come and join this forum instead. I'm not saying it wouldn't work. I'm saying we're not there yet, and I don't know that we ever would be. Again, if that might be a future thing, that's way beyond me. Everything I've learned about blacksmithing has come from YouTube, from you, Jason, from Tim, Alex Steele. I've learned more from you guys. James, yeah, I don't know. It's great, man. Everything I know about blacksmithing, I learned on YouTube as well, or from myself. I never had, I never had a teacher. Um, I've got Dave McConnell, who I consider. He would probably think it weird if I said he was my mentor, but maybe not. But I mean, he was there. He was friendly, and after I bought a hammer from him, he was more than willing to answer questions. And I used to bug him with questions left and right. Um, so he's about the closest thing I ever had to a mentor. But tell you, when I did that hammer video with him, where I went to his forge, that was the first time I had been to his forge where we had it fired up and we actually made something together. I mean, that never happened before. So I'd say 98% of what I learned about blacksmithing was from YouTube. So I was thinking about that. Someone asked me, "Are you self-taught?" And I was like, am I self-taught? I'm self-taught in the way that I went to find the knowledge. I went and found the knowledge that I wanted, but I consider other people to be my teachers. Alex Steele used to be great at doing the knowledge videos before he got more into the entertainment side of it. Um, I still go back and watch a lot of his, especially the tool making videos when I have to make something. Because, I mean, even as a kid, he was phenomenal. I mean, his skills, man. So I could say Alex Steele was one of my teachers. I mean, who knows? You know who built it? You're Trenton. What's the letter in front of the way? I think you're still talking to somebody else, right? Not me. Same way with my Peter Wright. It's well worn, but I love it. Awesome. Da-da-da-da. All right, are we getting to the end here, guys? We've been going 70 minutes. It would be awesome as a forum like iForge Iron or Blade Forum, right? Martin, I don't know. iForge Iron, I am a member of. iForge Iron doesn't get the same traffic that Facebook gets. We've got more traffic on a regular basis that's going on constantly on the Facebook page than iForge Iron does. And iForge Iron has a bazillion times more members. They are not active. That's the problem with forums. People, like I say, people are already on Facebook. People are already on Facebook going to check what their kids are doing. You know, who's doing this? Where are we meeting up? Blah, 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 blah. They're already, the majority of people are already on Facebook. So to say, well, you're here, come on by and visit the Forging It Forward folks is a lot easier than saying, leave Facebook. We know you want to go talk about where the hottest sale is and where you're getting your ice cream tonight, but leave all that and come over here and join us because we want you over here. I guarantee you, if iForge Iron was on Facebook, they would have more interaction going with what it is. Um, you can go onto the iForge Iron forum with other people, and they are fantastic people. But if you go and you look for new threads, new information coming through, with all the different topics they have, you can go hours without a single new something coming up, some interaction. Whereas just us with 190 members or something like that, um, there's every 5 minutes I'm getting a notification. Someone posted this. Someone responded to that. Someone's doing this. It's just we don't need it. Again, Martin, as much as you don't want to be on Facebook, that's where the people are. So that's where we're staying. Biased. How aren't the forums created daily? Just saying. I don't know what you're, Martin. I don't get it. The forums just don't have the people. That's what I'm trying to say. It's up to the people to create the content within the forum. If the people aren't there to create the content, what use is the forum? That's my point about iForged Iron. You can go and you can click on the new threads so you can see all the new content that's coming up, and it will go for hours without new content being added from the people that are there that are supposed to be adding the content. My point is the Facebook page, the people are there. They're already on Facebook, so they're coming by and adding content to the Forging It Forward Facebook page. And I'm not going to go and try and start a forum saying, come and visit us on this forum. I just downloaded plans to make a knife grinder. Awesome. I set up a GoFundMe account for a friend, and even though I set it up, she had access to all of it. It's not the GoFundMe; it's the bank account. The bank account is where the money winds up. GoFundMe will only hold the money for a certain amount of time. Then you have to remove it to a bank account. That's where the accountability really starts. Everybody can be on the GoFundMe. It's a username and a password. The bank account is the important part, and that's the part I don't know how to get set up between all of whoever needs to be on it. That's all spread out. Um, oh, never mind. I don't mean to make you mad, Martin, but we're staying on Facebook. I don't know how many more ways I can make that clear. Just because you got the last good year. Hey, Jason, this is Jonathan Mickle. Hello, Jonathan Mickle. The Pickled Hammer Forge. Love it. Jonathan is our treasurer. We've been talking about you. Yeah, but I can't put out the product for now. Got it, perhaps. I don't know what that means. If we got an engraving shop to sponsor us, we could send out Forging It Forward touch marks to makers. I've got an idea in mind for a symbol, too. Sure, that might be cool, maybe. I thought it would be more cool if everybody had their own touch mark so that, yeah, I mean, the people receiving it had a collection of whatever, but I don't care. Whatever you guys think. James, online banking. Yeah, online banking would work, James, but again, how do we get. I don't think you can set up a bank account online. Maybe you can. I don't know. Again, you're the businessman. You tell me how to make it work. We find a sponsor, run a contest in the group. Sure. Hi, everyone. Jera Metal Arts is on Facebook. They might be interested. Did you get my message on Facebook? Maybe. I haven't. When did you send it? Within the last 77 minutes? Because I haven't been on Facebook in the last 77 minutes. What's the longest blade you have forged? I probably need to play catch up on your kid so far. Longest blade I ever forged. Do I have it right here? I think I have it right here. It still hasn't gone to the person that bought it because they're paying for it in payments, but it's this Wakizashi looking thing. 17 and a half inches on the blade, 22 overall, I think it was. That's the longest one I've ever made to date. And that was kind of taxing on my little tiny forge, so I've got a I've got to start putting together a bigger forge so I can do. Okay, where are we? Okay, I don't know. Incorporate a nonprofit name permission for an account in the charter. Open an account. Apply for 501c3. Yeah. So incorporating costs money. Filing for a 501c3 costs money, and there are a lot of complicated. If you do it right, which this would have to be done right if my name is going to be involved in it, is a time-consuming and paperwork-heavy process. Well, I guess a lot of it can be done online nowadays. A lengthy process, and again, I don't know if I'm the right mind to do that. If there is someone who has the mind and the drive and the passion to do that, I will gladly hand you the keys to this thing and say, take it, pick up the ball, and run. Because again, I don't consider myself the leader of anything. I'm here. I'm a cheerleader. I'm trying to keep this thing going. Well, there's nothing to try to keep going. It's just going. It's a snowball rolling down a hill. I'm just along for the ride at this point. If you want plans and you want, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going forward. This is how we're going to make sure every cost is covered, every penny is accounted for. I mean, I know what has to be done. I don't know how to do it. I was not trained. I did not go to business school. my business is. I've had a few. Some have been minor successes. Some have been abject failures, and I'm not the guy. Um, I will be here. I will be here to support everyone and everything and the ideals and all that. But there's got to be more book learned slash real world experience learned people. That's why I've got the group I've got. That's why. I mean, we've had our moments within the administration message board where we've had some strong feelings uh, between the admins. Um, and I appreciate every single feeling. I appreciate every single person sticking to what they believe, and I think that's what has made it successful. Is no one backs down. I mean, we've had some I don't want to say arguments, but I mean some heated discussions about the way things should work, and no one backs down. But we all reach a consensus where we can all say, okay, that's the logical way to do it. And it's because of the guys that have come on board and are working with me that it has been successful and gotten to the level that it's gotten to already. Has nothing to do with me. Besides me being kind of a diplomat and maybe trying to keep everyone focused sometimes. But I mean, again, we have so much fun. We have laughs. It's been a blast. Um, yeah, okay. Oh, I'm just gonna be skipping through some of these guys. I'm sorry if I miss your question. Where the head sport? Okay, we're talking about that. Keep it in your backyard. Unfortunately, it also has quite a few shamers. Yeah, they do. But that I don't blame the forum for that necessarily. Maybe the leadership within the forum, but I think they've got a lot of the older, more curmudgeony blacksmiths that are joining them. That's why I'd start with an Etsy. That's what I'm going to do once my current job ends for the season and I can build up some stock. Uh, Etsy's fine. I have an Etsy account. I don't sell much on the Etsy account. Etsy doesn't have the same marketing potential. This is not sales potential. It does not have the same marketing potential as Facebook. Um, Again, it doesn't. If you want to market your stuff to a community of people that might be interested in it, you have to get on Facebook and go to Blacksmithing for Beginners, which has 77,000 members or something. And you have to say, look what I'm doing. I have sold more things doing that than, I mean, more, 10 times more, 15 times more than on Etsy because of the marketing potential. And that's just one aspect on Facebook. Um, Again, I know you don't like it, Martin, but it's a marketing thing. I'm not on Facebook because I want to be on Facebook. I'm on Facebook because I like to market myself. I like to market myself as a radio personality. I like to market myself as a blacksmith. I like to market myself as a knifesmith. I like to market myself. I want people to know what I'm doing if it's going to help me succeed in my businesses. So, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm way behind. I've been on Etsy for you. It's not working for me. Etsy's Etsy's an avenue. I on my YouTube videos, I tell people to visit my Etsy store if they want a deal because I've also got an Amazon store where I have to charge more because Amazon takes so much stuff. All right, people contributing is a problem I'm having. Account lots of okay. I know there are ways to get multiple people on together, but I believe everyone would have to sign, which means probably a lot of faxing. And faxing would be fine if that's the way it has to happen. I don't know if that's how it happens. Well, I have my website and Facebook page also that are all linked, all synced, and that's exactly what you have to do. If you're trying to market yourself, make sure everyone can get to everything you do from everywhere and everything you have. On my website, you will see You will see my YouTube videos. You can click on a YouTube video and you will go to my YouTube account. On my YouTube account, you have my Facebook page, my web page, my email address. When you go to my Facebook page, you can get to my email page and you can get to my YouTube page. Everything's all linked together. It is one solid, cohesive, this is me coming by my stuff, marketing, I'm going to take advantage of it situation. Okay, I'm far behind. Jason, are you still trying to get on Forge and Fire? Can't talk about it. Bank of America is in each state, I believe. I'm sure there are. Jason knows birds. Raising chicks, man. Yeah, we've got. Oh crap! I forgot what we picked up the other day. But my wife has them. They're on top of my dog's crate over there behind me. Yeah, they drive me nuts. Okay, I'm just skipping through a lot of these guys. I'm sorry. If it looks, I see it getting more political with every rule change. What's getting more political, Dennis? The forging it forward, because we're not being political about it whatsoever. Or are we? Are you answering a different question about something else? I'm sorry. I was watching Sam Fowler this afternoon. He had peacock screaming in the background. Sam's great. I love Sam. My neighbor has Instagram, great for marketing too. Instagram is great. I don't know anything about Instagram. I've got my daughter running my Instagram account for me. So if any of you are following me on Instagram and you think you're talking to me, you're not. You're talking to my 23-year-old daughter who runs my Instagram account because I don't know how to run my Instagram account. Hey, look at that. I'm down. That's the last one. Okay. Haha, Forge and Fire. Can't talk about it. Next question. Ha ha ha. Yeah, that. Answered that, didn't he, Jenko? Forge and Fire. Seriously, I signed paperwork saying I wouldn't talk about it. I promised you once if I made it onto the show, I would give you as much notice as I'm allowed to give you to let you know when the show is, and that has not changed. If I make it onto the show, I will give you as much advance notice as I can. And if I don't make it onto the show, you will never hear me say, I didn't make it onto the show. I signed an agreement, and that's the way it goes. Let's see. Hush, Jason. Don't say a word. I think I'm caught up on questions, guys. It's been 87 minutes. It's almost 10 o'clock. I got to be up in 6 hours. So, are there any more forging it forward questions that we didn't get to? I thought this was going to be like a 20-minute little thing. I'd answer a few questions and bye, everybody. So if there's any more forging it forward questions, now's the time. I'm glad I could be here. Good night, anonymous donor. I am glad you are there, my friend. You're going to make someone's life really super happy. Bio videos, don't forget those. Once we get more members and more people donating, there's really no need to open anything other than just a regular PayPal account or a GoFundMe account. Again, we've got a regular PayPal account. We need to do a GoFundMe account. It comes down to the bank account that you have to link to the GoFundMe account. Have a wonderful night. Thank you. We can't nominate you without your bio. That is absolutely true. If you need someone to nominate you, and all of the admins are more than willing to be your nominator, but you need to do the bio yourself. And once again, tell us about yourself. Tell us about why you're passionate about smithing. Tell us about why you think you'll be passionate about smithing. Tell us your history, where you're coming from, why you find yourself in a situation that you can't afford the tools. Show us where you want to smith, where you're going to set up your smithy, or where you already have something set up, basically, so we can make sure you're not trying to run a forge on an apartment balcony. You know, you heard that guy in New York burned down his apartment building because he tried to make a forge out of his grill and thing went up. We want to make sure we're not sending a forge to someone who lives in a third floor of an apartment and is going to be firing that off on their balcony. So show us where you're going to smith. Show us what tools you have. Show us what tools you need. All that fun stuff. We want to get to know you. Online banking could probably work for all of it. I know the bank I'm with in Canada is super easy to do stuff like that. Online banking would work once you have the bank account set up. And that's where it comes down to. Thanks, Jason, for your videos, knowledge, if you ever. Oh, yeah, we'll do. Absolutely, Ben. Thank you. See you next time. Give me a month or so, and I may have a video to upload. You better, Penny. Yeah, I don't want to see you slacking. I think you're doing a good thing. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you. I feel like we're doing a good thing. Again, it's not me. It's everybody involved. I just sort of came up with a name, and I made a pair of tongs and did a video about it and encouraged other people to do it, and boom, here we are today, and this is it, and it's growing faster and faster and faster and faster and faster, and it's been a hell of a ride, and it's been a lot of fun, and again, I got to thank Heath and Christian and Ryan and Jonathan and James, and I think that's everybody, all the administrators, because without them, it wouldn't be getting done. Even then, you're supposed to hammer induction forward when it shoots off the balcony into someone's lap at the pool. Ay, 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 ay. All right. I think we're good, guys, right? All questions for forging it forward have been asked and answered. Yes. So I am. Oh, look, I'm not Gavilis. That was a Forged in Fire guy. He started a hell of a fire. He was not a Forged in Fire guy. He had been watching Forged in Fire and thought he could do it. Um, he was wrong. All right. So here's my gavel. Adjourned. Have a great night, everybody. I will catch you. If you do have any questions that, if you're coming by and watching this video afterwards, and you've stuck around this long, 90 minutes, um, just send them to any administrator in a private message if you don't want to ask them publicly. And any of us will be glad to get back to you and answer your questions. So, James, thank you. Penny, Martin, everyone, thank you guys. And John Coffey, yes, absolutely. Have a great night. I gotta go. I gotta get to bed, man. I'll chat with y'all later. See ya. If I hit the right buttons, I think I can get out of here. All right, here.